after finishing up that chocolate brown, covered it with model color Flat Earth, which is closer to the color that I actually wanted. And now, going over with yellow ochre mixed with a little bit of the Flat Earth. Not sure how far I want to take this, so doing this in baby steps. But I'm trying to add a little texture to this bony plated type area here, so paint is slightly thicker than normal and try and do lines, leaving the darker area where the plates overlap. And we're just going to repeat this process by adding in a lighter color each time, and so I get to wherever I want to get to. So just repeating this process over and over again, worked up to yellow ochre. Now I'm mixed in some, what did I mix in? I mixed in beige, model color beige. And we're just doing the edging now. Kind of stippling it on again so I get a little, bit of texture to this whole plated system. And that's about it. Another night and another non-finished dragon here. Ah, this is taking forever. Decided to move slightly away from the copper look, at least the copper dragon look from the book, which I actually do like from the monster manual, but we're gonna add a bit more color, or at least a bit more variation in color to this guy. So I'm going back over the main central spines on top and darkening them up by using our hammered copper from before, whole red, and a little bit of camo black brown. And so we're going to do some variation here. We're going to have it darker on the spine and lighten up a little bit as we go closer to the underbelly for some more natural variation. Mentioned before, adding variation, especially to animals, really makes them pop much better. If you're painting like a lizard and you just dry brush it green, well, lizards really have variations, different spots on them, things like that, and if you add little details like that, it really makes your paintings pop. So sticking with our gradation theme here, after doing the darker red on the center spine towards this middle area, highlighting some of the scales, well, picking them out, actually not highlighting them. But this is a mix of bright bronze, a little bit of the hammered copper, and a little bit of the scrofulous brown that I used on the orange area. So it's a mix between this color and this color, so perfect transitional color. And I'm not trying to just do a few here. I don't want to do a whole bunch. Don't want like a straight line of these little spots. More of a broken pattern. Alright, we're getting closer here. Finally going back, adding a bit more color to our original red, and copper does oxidize. It often oxidizes green, but it can do blue as well, or some in-between colors, bluish green. I'm actually using turquoise here, Falcon turquoise, because for some reason I was thinking blue. Actually, that's why I was thinking blue, because there was blue in the original Monster Manual picture that I liked. So, but anyway, Falcon turquoise, game color Falcon turquoise, very thin, mixed with a little future floor polish so I don't get any rings. Whoops. Actually, it's a bit too thin because I just got it on the orange part. I don't want it on the orange part right now. I'm just trying to do the big areas. Let me clean that off. I don't know if I'm going to do anything on the orange part, but for the moment I just want the big, oh good lord, speak, use words, the big scales. And this may take more than one coat. I'm starting very light and then I'll build it up as necessary. Working on the wings, And the wings are the weakest part of this kit just because they're not detailed. I had a hard time figuring out what to do with them because they're not, standard membrane bat looking wings like you normally see on dragons. So I'm adding a bit more color to them. And this is the same Falcon turquoise from before with a bit of what is this called? Scruff green? Hang on. Scurf green. Just a little bit mixed in. And paint's a bit thicker now. Just painting it into the recesses, as you see here. And then we'll do some on to the other side as well. Now back to the large scales, and I'm going around with that same mixture I just used on the wings. Again, thicker than the previous wash, and just adding a fewer spots than I did before, a bit more color here and there. Again, trying to break up the pattern, make it a bit more natural looking. If you're doing something oxidized, it's rarely uniform. You're going to have brighter spots and darker spots and spots of different colors. Just like I was mentioning before with the animals. See, it all comes together. One final shade of our bluish green mixture here, this time added a bit more white. And going very subtle on this one, just in the recesses of the wings and 1 or 2 spots on the main body. You may notice I did the frills on the head same color, but I'm going to change those back to copper color because it looks kind of silly with the blue-green little neck scarf he's wearing right now, head scarf. So we'll just change that back to a red copper. Onto the belly portion now, and using that scruff green from before, adding a little bit of color. I don't want to do a whole bunch, but it ties in the colors, throughout the whole model, especially since the belly, even though I didn't use metallic, still has like a yellow sheen to it, so adding green to it does give a goldish feel to it. But just doing this in the recesses, again, very thin. I gotta be careful because the color is so light. The green really, the light color really picks up the green a whole bunch. I'm going to wrap up the rest of this on camera because it's fairly simplistic from here on out. Last thing I'm doing of import is taking Hull Red and doing a wash around the edges of the orange in the midsection here. And again, this is tying all the colors together. Oops, I got a little bit on the yellow there. But adding the red here because I have the red on the top, the big scales. And so this is adding depth to the orange. And also in blending in that previous color from the scales. So all ties together. See, I keep saying that. But after this, I just have to paint the horns, which will do a gradation between flat earth and bone, several layers of that. And have to paint the eyes. Last minute thing I did to the eyes was I filled in the little spots with some epoxy putty because the pupils were actually carved in, which made them look really weird. I should have taken care of that way back in the beginning, but I didn't think about it. But we're almost done here, and next shot we'll have some final words. And we're done with our copper dragon finally. Definitely took way too long to paint up. Basically same issue I have with the Hellhound. It sits on my desk too long, and I just start getting distracted by other things. Paint job came out okay. The blue I put on the copper really helped to bring everything out together. It added a little bit of pizzazz to the dragon. Overall, pretty nice. The eyes, I'm not too sure about. I may change those later. They are a bit cartoony, but I wanted something that kind of popped out, and they definitely do pop out. These old Ral Partha dragons, I have quite a few of these, and I think this is like the first one I've ever put together, at least in the past 10 plus years. They are a pain to build, usually because the seam lines are cut right across the scales, and so you have to basically remold a whole bunch of stuff. This one, if you can see, I didn't mention, but you can see in the bottom where his kind of crotch area would be, there's a lump. That's not a penis. No penis jokes here, please. It's just the tail doesn't fit properly. Luckily, this is probably the best one I have according to fit, because I didn't have to do a whole bunch of re-sculpting, but the head here had to put some like fur hair, and the wings took a lot of filling as well. But there we go, Copper Dragon all done, and that is it.